Welcome back. Today I'll be talking on a topic, what do you do when you feel like you are failing as a parent? I was hoping that one of my children will become a doctor and take care of us in an old age. He turned to something else. Then the second child, we encouraged him, but he turned to something else. The third one, also the same thing. And the fourth one also studied something else. And none of them become a doctor. I thought I have failed as a father. And in a place like Nagaland, none of my children got a government job. And so I said, I think I have failed to raise them to become a responsible children, having a position in the society. This is very crucial in a place like Nagaland. When the NBSC result is out, there will be facilitation in the newspaper by the clansmen, by the villagers, by the tribesmen. And you get depressed and say, what has happened to me as a father? I could not produce even one gazetted officer. And then I realized that in life, everything is not about what you think. It is important to understand that anything that gives you joy, anything that gives you a living is a job. And my children, when they were young, they learned life skill, the music. And so all of them gradually started to pick up music well and started doing music. And so I started to accept the reality of life and said, I think in life, what matters is what brings joy to your life. My dear brothers and sisters, if you are struggling like me, be encouraged. It is not the way you planned, but it is God's plan that matters. And sometimes God's plans are not the way you think it is. But now I can see what God was doing with my children. When they refused to go for medical studies, when they refused to appear in those competitive exams, the Lord was preparing to train people for the kingdom's ministry. And all of them are into music ministry, training people for the ministry of the church in Nagaland, Assam, Arunachal Pradesh, Manipur, Meghalaya, Nepal, Myanmar, and maybe one day all over the world. And now only I understood the plan of God. And so if you are struggling, sit down and ask God to show you His plan for your life and for your children. The Word of God tells us not to fear, but to take courage and to be strong in the Lord. In Luke chapter 1 verse 37, the Lord said, nothing shall be impossible with God. Everything is possible with God if you only trust Him. So if you are struggling, thinking that you have failed your children and you have failed as a father, you sit down and say a prayer to God and say, Lord, help me to understand what you are doing with my children. Help me to understand your ways. Be thou encouraged, my dear brothers and sisters. And if you are struggling with this problem, I encourage you to sit down and have a prayer asking God to guide you. If you are feeling that you have failed as a parent, turn to CBN YouTube channel on 28 February 3 p.m. for prayer. And we'll be praying for you.